Hi guys, this is Grace Pamela, Samana.com, and I wanted to go over why photography contracts are important. This is something a lot of beginner photographers don't really know about, or maybe it's too overwhelming to get into. But I think it's very, very, very important, especially you'll notice down the line, if you don't have a contract, then you're going to start noticing a lot of problems that could easily be avoided if you did have a contract. So one of the reasons why you should have a photography contract is ensuring payment. One of the foremost reasons to have a contract in place is to ensure that you get paid for your work. Your contract will set out how much you will be paid, when you will receive the payment, and when your part of the work is determined to be done. If you have ever faced a client who did not pay up for months and months, you will know how much of an impact this can have. Now this goes right into what I was just saying earlier, where you will start to notice a lot of problems that could otherwise mostly be avoided if you had a contract in place. This was something that I actually ran into when I started photography way in the beginning. Somebody said they couldn't really afford it up front, that they would like to pay afterwards, and it was a quinceañera shoot, and me being the gullible, naive, nice person that I was, I trusted them and said okay, and I went there and I shot the event, and the pictures came out gorgeous, and I posted the Facebook sized images to Facebook with my logo on it, and they ended up downloading all of those pictures, and they were just completely over the moon with just those. So what ended up happening was they never ever ended up paying me. So that's why it's really important to have a contract in place, and I would, of course, require payment up front, or at least partial payment up front, and then the rest of it that day. You definitely don't want to put yourself in a spot where you're not going to get paid, and having a contract is one of those steps you can take to prevent that from happening. Another reason why photography contracts are important is protecting your rights. As a photographer and a creator of content, you have certain rights. It depends on your country of origin and the country in which you took the photographs, as different places around the world have different copyright laws. So that means you're really going to have to take the time to do your research to make sure you are aware of your copyright laws where you are located. By having a signed contract which agrees to the usage rights presented to the client, you protect yourself in a number of ways. So another reason why you would want to have a contract is creating a legal basis. If you do have problems with clients using images in the wrong way, refusing to pay you, or so on, your contract provides a legal basis on which you can challenge them. This means that you would be able to take them to court for money owed, and you would have a pretty good chance of winning. With a verbal contract, there is no proof that any agreement was made unless you have independent witnesses, and even a judge may throw out. With a written agreement, such as emails and text messages and all of that, you have somewhat of a legal basis, but not that much. So you definitely want to make sure you have a signed, dated contract. It also works the other way around. If a client were to attempt to sue you, you will have the legal documentation to defend yourself with it. So for example, if you have 100 images and an album in your wedding package that you are giving to your bride, and then your bride tries to sue you for not handing over all the images you shot, you would be able to bring up your contract and show to the judge that your contract stated the limitations of what your client paid for. So this is a perfect example for how your contract can really save your butt. So another reason why photography contracts are important is communication. This opened up a window for you and your clients to really be able to know what's going on and communicate. When you are having your clients sign your contracts, this is the best time and way for you to lay out all of the things you want to communicate with them before, during, and after your shoot. You may talk with your client about the contents of your contract, which will ease their minds as well as yours, since there will be a much better understanding for what is going to happen. For example, you might have a system set up where they get to choose 20 images out of 40. Then they can choose to purchase extra images for an additional fee if they'd like to. This will set you and your client up for success since they know what to expect. Otherwise, they might just get angry and wonder why they can't have all 40 images included for free. Another example, if you are shooting a wedding and a guest is harassing you, you have the right to leave the premises if you fear for your safety. But if you don't have this in your contract and you didn't communicate this with your bride, what will she think if her photographer just vanished on her big day? It's a good idea to include all the groundwork in your contracts and communication for the most success and to avoid any misunderstanding. If you want a flawless shoot, this is the perfect way to make sure that happens, because you are getting all of that heavy stuff out of the way before you even start. So this way, if they have any questions at all, they can ask before they sign the contract and all of that fun stuff. They are most likely to help guard against the what ifs than to impact your daily business. If you don't have them, you definitely should, because there will come a day when you wish you had one. And trust me, it happens to everyone. There are some amazingly good people out there, and sometimes there are just people who will fight every little thing. And sometimes there would just be times where something isn't communicated right and everybody just gets really confused and angry. So you just want to make sure everything is really out there for everyone to understand and have signed, and to protect you and to protect your client. I hope this was helpful. I really had a great time going over this with you. If you have any more questions on this at all, feel free to message me at any time at support@simrana.com. Alright guys, have a wonderful day. Bye guys.